The idea of homeschooling while traveling the world, or worldschooling, is incredibly appealing. Imagine your children learning about ancient civilizations while standing at the foot of the pyramids, or studying marine biology while snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef. This is something we dream about as a family. Being trinational, you really need to explore the world, right? Have you thought about it? Are you planning for it? Are you ready to be a world schooler? Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you so much for watching and for your comments. Thank you for your likes and your subscribes and being part of this Learning Life. Now, I called this Learning Life because that's the journey that I'm on. I want to learn through my life, and I want to do it together. And, as part of my life is being part of a trinational family. And this is fun and this is exciting. We love to travel and to experience. And, we're also considering moving overseas and being established in another country for, longer periods of time. Homeschooling the girls is still our aim. So we have to take into account the different homeschooling laws around the world. Some countries would be lovely, but they would really only be short-term visits because they aren't feasible as they don't like homeschooling. Maybe you are considering a move overseas and would like to start homeschooling. If you aren't now. Now is the time to get set up with homeschooling so that it is successful when you are overseas. The same principles apply no matter where you hit the books. And this is something that I love to do, help families be set up with that, get into homeschooling and just doing it right. I would encourage you, check out the link below for how to homeschool, where I can take you through the steps so that you can do it and do what works for you. Now, with world schooling, you do have some options. You could do sort of shorter term stays in different countries, or you could do longer term moves to a country, 6 months to several years. It's great. We've got options. Benefits of world schooling. Let's just have a look at just a few of the great benefits of world schooling. You get lots of experiential learning because you're moving beyond the textbook and you get to learn by doing and by seeing and experiencing the world around you. Yes, you get firsthand cultural experiences. And from that, you get a global perspective. We're not just in a little box. You can learn a new language in a natural and an immersive environment. And this is also going to help you with interpersonal skills. There is so much more. But before you pack your bags and hit the road, it's crucial to ask yourself some serious questions. There are many considerations for family life, and all of that, but I want to focus on the educational aspect. Considerations for world schooling. Have you researched the homeschooling laws in the countries you plan to visit? Look, if you are really only going to be there a few weeks, thinking tourist, it really might not be necessary. But if you plan to stay any length of time, several months, let's say 6 months or more, you need to know their regulations. A great place to start is hslda.org. But honestly, it's really good to reach out to the expat community to see whether it would be feasible for you, because might say one thing online, but the expat community will have more of a no. And you need to work out how are you going to maintain your records, especially if you need them recognized in your home country, or if you plan to move back there, or your children want to go back there for their higher education. Now, what curriculum will you use? If you are traveling, to many countries doing like these little jaunts and hops and, you think I need to take our curriculum with us, you might prefer to use an online option because you don't want to be hauling heavy books with you. But you could also limit what you're doing, like just using select subjects, thinking, let's cover language arts and math and allow the rest to be experiential learning. I get it might not work for high school kids who have set requirements for graduation, but we do have options there. I personally would not want to be lugging around a bunch of books if I'm doing quick trips, but I could do it if I'm staying in one place for a longer period of time. But don't forget, if you're going to be using an online curriculum, you need to think about having reliable internet access. What will your routine be like? Will you have one? Will you not? Maybe it's not a routine. Maybe it's just like a really good flow, knowing in the mornings between this time and this time, this is when we're going to get stuff done. This really can maintain like a good sense of normalcy for our children while traveling. Traveling is exciting, but it also can be weary sometimes. But if we know during this time and this time, we're going to work on our schoolwork, it is so helpful. Of course, for an established longer stay, it's going to be so much easier to have a routine or flow. And what about, socialization? Because we love to talk about it. Well, let's plan for it. Let's get our children connecting with other children. If you're there long term, are there homeschooling groups? Are there extracurricular activities? Are there things you can get involved in? Like get involved with the expat community. If it's shorter trips, you can still be connecting with other people, still reach out to people who live there and be like, hey, could we come and hang? But we do want to encourage that cultural immersion because that's going to help our children. They will do so great at adapting to new environments and experiences. I know for me, maybe not so much. What are your family's needs and preferences? Do you prefer slow travel or fast-paced adventures? Are you prepared for the challenges of constant travel and living in close quarters as a family? Maybe it would work for you to be in a new place every few weeks. Or maybe you actually really need to settle for several months at a time. Or maybe you need a more permanent move, which is really, a year or more. These preferences need to be taken into account. And also consider how your child learns. Are they visual or more auditory, and having the itinerary sort of match that so that they're getting these opportunities that match how they learn is going to really support them. Find out if you don't know about it because this is something that is extremely helpful. Now, Worldschooling, it really can be so wonderful, so enriching. I've seen that with my girls, like in Europe or in Australia, the things that they were learning that weren't from books. But, it's not without its challenges. We need our planning. We need good communication. We need to be flexible. And we also need to not just drop their education off, and say, we won't worry about it. All of this, it's essential for a successful and an enjoyable journey. Thank you so much for watching today and being part of this Learning Life. As I said, if you are considering, this move at want to homeschool and haven't started, check out How to Homeschool. It's a great way to really get set up and help you with learning styles and curriculum choices and all of those wonderful things. And if you want to help get these videos out, you can do that by becoming a champion. So you can check that out at patreon.com or at my website, LearningThis.Life.